Get settled, good people, get settled. Get settled, my good people. Let's have an exciting Friday night version of Midnights with Marcus Maven. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to get my little extra workout in. So it cost me a couple extra minutes. I had to talk to my guy Rummage for a couple seconds. I'm going to mute it because I'm going to do a speak to text to Steve really quick. There you go. There you go. Whew. So yeah, if y'all find me out of breath, don't be alarmed. Just had to get a little extra exercise in. Let me see. Let me make sure everything's straight. Color intensity here. Hold on. We gotta get this right. Let me jump on in here. Jump on in the chat. Old board member is a new board member appointed by the governor. What's good, Frontman James? Looks like the board trustee's appointment today was a damn good one. What's up, Midnight Fam? Bomb 502, Midnight Fam. What's up, Cash Bear? Good evening to the Midnight Crew, says Dwayne. Is it standard practice for the governor to install board members at all state schools now, or just U of L? Let's get it started. Good people, says RL Ho. What's up, everyone? Raiders, shout out Jason Baker. I love the beat. I love that beat, Jason Baker. Craig J, what's good? Just trying to see Louisville athletics back where it should be. I get it solo. Aren't we all? Steve Johnson in the building. Dwayne said, be sure to smash the like button. Facts, hashtag capital FACTS. ONLY new. Now the governor state has always been able to put board members in schools. Better just did them all at once, which was illegal. What's up, everyone? Tomorrow's line up the same as Wednesdays. You know we got to talk about that, Julian. That's a lot to look at. I know. Satterfield looks like the smell of game plan in that picture. Terry says, what up to everybody? No more games. Chris Mack, get it done. Okay, y'all. I'm just plugging up. I'm plugging up my Apple charger. Making sure I got a real janky surge protector. Juan Chuck says Turfway kicked my ass today. Listen, if I could bet the ponies, I would. I don't know much about it. Okay, I'm just making sure we are connected, y'all. Making sure we're connected. Do y'all want to jump straight into the Chris Mack press conference? Do y'all want to hear that again? What y'all want to do? Angry Sid is so good. I had to explain to somebody that Sidney Curry averages 2.8 minutes a game or whatever it is coming in from watching last night's show. What did I miss? I don't know. Y'all, you have to tell me what you missed. I don't remember. Let me get this invite. Let me get that invite to Rummage in case he wants to jump in here. I'm going to put the invite in the link in the description too. So anybody who wants to jump in here with me, you can do that. Y'all know the rules. You know the routine. Let everybody get the shout outs in and all that good stuff. Let me close that. Okay, y'all know we got to do it. Paste that link in there. Okay, that link is in there. Pinned message in there. You got that going now? Yeah, we definitely give Sounds like we have a new board member. Indeed, still got got a long way to go. Yes, let's hear it, Chris Mack. What's all this Ben's board stuff about? I wanna get more details behind the scenes. Let's hear the presser. Got it. I had 23 assists tonight versus Manhattan. StreamYard is coming from me. I want more behind the scenes on the board member stuff before I talk into detail about it, because I don't want to speak unintelligibly about it. So that is the case with that. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I didn't have a cam on. Brand, let's go up to it. Boom. Banners. Boom. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, definitely hit the like button, share, because we're gonna talk about all this stuff. I should have. Oh, I didn't make it my thumbnail though. I did not make it my thumbnail. Let me do that really quick, just so y'all know. I gotta work on getting the edit. Just a simple thing. Upload the thumbnail. That's what it is. That's what it is. Oh no, the file is bigger than 2 MB. Oh, I can't use that thumbnail. Ooh, you know what? Let's see if I can screenshot it really quick. Yeah, that's way too big. That's way too big. See if we can. Lauren, did you make fun? Lauren, did you just make fun of all my work I put in? Lauren, did you just make fun of all the work I put in? All the work I put in to make this imagery for a night show. I made it into GIFs and videos and all this good stuff, just only to have my work criticized. Jeff Walls, if B. Boston College will have 400 win. Let's go. Terry with the shout out to Jeff Walls and the ladies team. James G in the building. Y'all hear Max say keeping the starters the same? I did. We got to talk about it. Thank you so much, Terry. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm just trying to get the. Listen, I'm just cheers to Deion Branch. That's a good shot start out. Cheers to Deion Branch. We are happy for you. Lauren, I was just trying to get the show subjects. Get the show subjects in the I was trying to get the show subjects in the picture so everybody can have a good idea. Is this the 600? Johnny G says, is this the 600 series? I'm looking over at Twitter real quick. Kyrie told Sarah about, yes. Facial expression robots. Are you crazy? West End Wayne in the building. What's good? Big Pat. Yeah, Big Pat in the building. What's good? Let's go to work. Julian, hey, y'all give one more cheers. Julian. Cheers. Let me get down to a good one. Give you a good one for tonight. Listen. Our basketball team is pressure time. This is serious pressure time, y'all. And coach is making some big time decisions. And I feel him. You're not gonna bow to the crowd. You're not gonna but it's like what's the phrase? Nose to spite face. Don't be so worried about admitting that you may should have had some of these other guys in that you get too stubborn. I hope he's not getting stubborn about this. But let's listen to it first. Let's listen to him first. And because listen, I didn't hear it. I'm taking y'all word for it on the lineups. So I am. What's up with the sign? Terry, which part, Terry? You mean? Oh. See, Terry complimented my thumbnail, and then you giving me a hard time about the sign. I didn't know what to put up there. Dang. Dang. We are total must win. And we have to start playing well. We have to start playing good. We have to start being inspired, playing some inspired basketball. Listen, he gonna have to do more than that. he gonna have to do more than that. For sure. Cause it's still a minority in there though. Y'all get you know what I'm saying? Okay. I'm gonna share that screen. Listen, let me know if I need to turn up the volume, y'all. Let me know if I need to change anything about this volume or whatever. Hold on. I screwed that up. I didn't even plug in my headphones. But let me know about the volume. Let me know I can make any adjustments deemed necessary. Boom. Boom.
Chris, what was your message to the guys after that loss to NC State? 1 and 2, how they responded both immediately after that and in the day of practice?
Jordan S.
Well, I mean, the message was simple. We have to be better. We have to be better in all areas. We've hammered the defensive end, which I think has been plaguing our team here as of late. We've gone from being 12th in the country to barely top 50. And it has to rectify itself. We have to be much better on that end of the floor with our communication, with our energy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the focus. We had only one practice. Obviously, we played on Wednesday. We had yesterday's practice, and we got after it. We're going to do the same thing today.
Chris, when you talk about, you've talked a lot about your team's consistency. If you ask a guy on this team, it seems like anybody about Sid, what they say is he's the same guy every day. How much has that helped him get where he's gotten the past few games?
It's everything. His attitude doesn't, reflect his production. It doesn't reflect the opportunity he gets in games. He just continues to be the same guy every day. And that same guy is a guy that works really hard, questions nothing, and just continues to improve. He arrived this late summer at 300 pounds, and he's gotten himself to 265 pounds. And with guidance from others, but it's all his own work ethic. And he's become a really effective player rapidly. Because in the beginning of the year, quite honestly, he didn't know where he needed to be defensively. He didn't know how to communicate, ball screens that were occurring at such a fast rate. He has taken huge steps forward. I mean, he's really become what we need around the basket.
For such an inexperienced player at this level, a couple times he got the ball a little away from the basket the other night and made a move. Has that surprised you at all, like what he can do with the ball once he gets it away from the basket a little bit?
I mean, I think he's been an instinctive player, ever since I saw him in high school. He just has a knack for figuring out how to beat his man and then use his wide shoulders and his explosiveness to get an angle, to get a shot. And he's got a really, really soft touch. He tends to go right shoulder. He tends to go to his left, but he's actually, really starting to expand his ability to go either way. I still think, he's more driven to his left hand, but, sometimes the guys that stick to what they're really good at are good at it for a reason. And even though a defense might know it's coming, it's still hard to stop. I think that's what you've seen out of Sid the last couple games.
Chris, talking about Sid, everyone says the same thing. Same guy every day. Same guy every day. How difficult is it to try and instill that mentality in everyone else around the roster? That model of consistency, knowing how up and down most people on the roster have been this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was one of the things I talked about in the locker room. I pointed Sid out is, look what that attitude, look what that consistency has gotten him, and it hasn't gotten him that all year long. There were times where I'm sure when he was sitting in that stall after a game that he didn't play, it was tough, but it didn't change his approach the next day. It didn't change his, relationships with his teammates. Nothing changed. He became the same guy, determined to, figure out a way to get on the floor. And, we need more guys to have that type of consistency, with their attitude, not with their production, with their attitude and their effort. And good things will happen to
We
them.
need production on the court, Coach.
With Dre, you're getting some energy when he comes in there. You're getting some things that it seems like when he gets around the basket, sometimes he doesn't know what he's going to do with it. How do you work on that, or how do you fix that?
Well, I think he's really good when he gets his tail around the rim. I think he's got wide shoulders. I think he has a really good knack for getting defenders in the air and gaining an angle. He's got a soft little fade away when he feels like he can't necessarily get an angle to the basket.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a sophomore, and he's a guy that has to be a little bit more consistent. He's got to become a better passer when all of a sudden there becomes a lot of traffic around him, and that hasn't always been the thing that he did in high school, or something that comes natural to him. It's something that we're working on, and the good thing is Dre's another guy like that is willing to be humble enough to know he's got to work to get better at certain things.
Chris, I've heard coaches say before, there's a limit to how much you can teach as long as you're still teaching like effort, as long as you're still coaching them on being consistent every day about how hard they play, that kind of stuff. Have you had that experience with this team that you're still trying to get them to that point so that they can build on it?
Yeah, I think
that's scary, Coach.
That I've noticed with a few, of the guys on the team is just, when things aren't going necessarily great for them, they struggle being consistent with their effort.
You got to pull them.
You can't do that at this level, and they get exposed, and so we're working through that. We're trying to get them to understand that, especially at the high major level, that it's important. You've got to be able to play through your issues. And,
you got to bench them through the issues, Coach.
Then those guys will be the players we know that they're capable of being.
You got to bench them through the issues.
You just played Pitt 10 days ago or whatever, last week.
Yeah.
It probably won't be much different. Obviously, it was different in that game because Hughley went out with the fouls early. What do you kind of expect from this game? And that was a pretty physical game.
Yeah, I mean, I always think that when you play physical, or when you play Pittsburgh, it's going to be physical. I don't care who's on their schedule. That's just the approach they take, and you can't have back down. Hughley's one of the better low post scorers in our league.
He was trucking us.
They look to him almost every possession. They had to completely change their approach in the first half against us when he went out. They went to more of a ball screen, try to find the roller and try to find the tagman type of team. And then when he got back in the second half, they went to him almost every possession. So we've got to fight for post position defensively. We've got to do that without fouling. And he draws a crazy amount of fouls and gets to the free throw line. He fouled out two of Boston College's big guys, and I felt like they actually did a decent job.
They're going to be playing zone.
Fortunately for us, we do have a lot of bodies at that position, but we can't have him go through those bodies like a wrecking crew, which he's more than capable of doing.
Obviously, I don't know, maybe a complete aberration, but 11 points out of your starting lineup the other night. Do you think about changing that for the next game?
I want us to be consistent. Again, I don't want to be shuffling lineups constantly. So we're going to go with the same lineup, but guys got to be able to respond. We haven't got off necessarily to poor starts, but those guys
offensively we have
to be, again, more consistent for us. It just turns out that no matter when the starters were in, obviously they're in the beginning of the game, but throughout different stretches, they just weren't very productive. So again, we didn't come out of that first TV timeout down 14-2, but we've got to get better play from the guys that start for sure.
Was there anything in that last game against Pitt that you want to try and do slightly differently, whether it be like backup rotations or kind of like set plays or anything like that?
I mean, there's some adjustments that you certainly make from game one to game two. Those adjustments will stay sort of in-house, but at the same time, we know who Pitt is, and they're really good at getting the ball into Hughley. They tried to mix it up in game one. They hadn't shown a lot of zone. They'd shown a little bit of zone going into our game. They tried to go a lot of zone to start the game. We did a good job in the way we attacked it. And then they went all man-to-man. So, it'll be more of the same. But, again, game one was nip and tuck. And so we got to do an even better job expecting Hughley to be on the floor a lot more.
It does seem like this team, for whatever reason, when you're on the road, you play a little bit better or a little more consistent on the road. Is that something about being together and being away, maybe?
Not sure what it says, but it's a good thing because it's obviously, no matter what season you're in, it's hard to win on the road. And no matter what environment you go in, it's either raucous or there's no one in the building. In either case, those are hard environments. And so, our team, by and large, has been pretty competitive on the road. We've stolen a few, and tomorrow's got to be no different.
Chris, I think people after the game the other night sensed some frustration from you, obviously, about the consistency stuff. How do you address that with your team when you've got something like that? That's
just continually. I mean, that's not been a one-shot meeting. I mean, this has been something that we've been, hammering and talking about, all year long. And so we just had to. There's no magic potion. There's no magic dust you just sprinkle on, and your mistakes are going to disappear. The only way we know how to work at it is show film, drill it in practice, and try to be better in the game.
Anything else? Great.
Thanks, guys.
Of course, Lauren wants to watch it. It's taking huge steps over Mac. Why not put in a damn starting lineup? Again, I might take up a new hobby just to have background noise. I'm afraid my TV's not gonna make it. He looks exhausted. He does look exhausted. How about changes? Terrible body language. If you're doing a job interview, would you hire this guy? He looks distraught. I think there's something to that. Like, at a time like this, I would encourage him not to be looking like that on camera. It matters. Because this is on Twitter. This video is being shared on Twitter. It's being shared on Facebook. The players do not want to see, they don't need to see the coach kind of in that posture. He needs to be upright. We have a game plan. We have this. This is getting fixed. This is doing, I'm just frustrated with guys being inconsistent. It's like, no, dude, get up there and tell us you got a plan. We're good to go. Listen, get this kink out. Start lineup's going to come out. I'm expecting high level intensity out of my starting lineup. I'm going to talk to him. We know we haven't been getting the energy level at other teams at the beginning. We know this is the University of Louisville. We're gonna be looking for this, and this. Give them some energy. Not just the fact you are the head coach of the University of Louisville. Everybody can have a slouchy, I'm pissed because we lost, but the pregame, I don't want to be here. Look, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel you. You don't want to be here, but dude, you're the leader. Your posture is important. And I'm not like nitpicky guy, but at a time like this, again, post game, I get it sometimes, but now, like, put your head up, like, get up, arch your back, get up, but put your chest out. Let them kids see posture and energy. Get on your toes a little bit. Let them see some posture. I mean, because you hate bad body language out of players, coach. I know you hate that. You say you hate that. You read everybody's body language because it means something. We're reading your body language because it means something. You talk about their body language. I don't like, you don't like frumpy guys in your situation. You are addressing the coordination with frumpy body language. Don't do that anymore. Ass meets bench. Says message to Brave. Ass meets bench. Bench retains ass. I wish I had that video already clipped up. He lost a lot of enthusiasm. He's feeling the pressure. I think we can still turn. Yes, that's the thing, Aaliyah. I know we can turn it around, but you have to start with, you have to look like you believe it first and foremost. Seeing him like this, like I said, and it's like, hey, maybe you have done a bunch of press conferences like this, but now you need something else out of you. You need some energy out of you. What was the Jordan one? Kilroy? Johnny Kilroy or something? Thank you. Jeez. Coach, we need body language out of you. I was saw on Twitter this isn't true with them going with the same starting lineup. Yep, he said he is going with the same starting lineup. But again, we talked about it during the show today. I don't piss and moan about starting lineups. I don't. I didn't do it with Rick. The only time I pissed and moaned about starting lineups is when I didn't start as a player. But other than that, I understand what coaches mean when they say it's about the minutes. Once you start one game as a player, it's like you already it shouldn't be a thing that bothers you. If you got game, when you get in the game, you got game. It shouldn't bother you about starting, but your minutes should. What if we go Faulkner, Davis? It's the lineups in the game. It's the lineups. Plug recent again. The biggest problem, the biggest issue is, like I said, when you run a pick and roll, with Jared West Malik, nobody helps out on Malik. So Noah Locke is out there. Nobody's helping off. L. Ellis, they want L. Ellis to shoot threes. They want to keep L. Ellis out of the paint. And Sam is not a catch and shoot guy. And Sam catches the ball standing up straight all the time. He doesn't catch the ball in attack mode. So that group of guys that you have out there on the floor, none of them can get their own shot. So that's why they're forced to throw it around the perimeter. But like I said, Malik might open the game with two plays where he goes close to the basket. After that, he don't go to the basket. He doesn't draw fouls much. Tell Malik to keep his mouth shut. Did Mack recruit Malik? No, Malik was a rip guy. He's not worried he's gonna get. Oh, he's worried. Don't worry about that. It's not all about the money with him. Reese is in great shape. Deion Branch and Reese Gaines are the most in shape individuals at their age y'all are ever gonna see in person. It's impressive. Listen, that's why I was working out before the show tonight. Because listen, when I saw Reese and Deion, I'm like, man, let me get my shit together. Expected different results, fair enough. Malik messes up first minute and a half. We pull, but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, pull Malik like you pulled Ellis. Pull Malik like you pulled Ellis. Again, 1 minute and 34 seconds into the game, you pulled L. Ellis. Malik out here clumsy and around. You got to pull him, man. Sorry. Chris, it's Marquez. When is the freestyle I'm coming like you did with Satterfield? Chris, first of all, it's Marquez. Chris, look at the bottom. Chris, it's Marquez. I'm not as mad at Coach Mack as I was with Satterfield. And like I said, and I think he's doing a lot of good things, but he's making some key mistakes. But I'm damn sure not at the Mack space. If you took a survey of players in the team asking Curry earned a start, I think all of them, except for ones that actually, like I said, I mean, the case you're making is fine, but I also I don't blow up over starts. I don't blow up over. But here's my problem. Here's my problem with starts. Coach said, because we're not starting off down 12-4. Okay, here's the problem. I was talking with Steve, so I'm going to kind of borrow a little bit of his point. This is what happened. Steve said we lost the game in the first 4 minutes of the second half. He said we lost the game. I said, no, Steve. And I said, maybe, Steve. And I said, you know what happened? We lost the psychological battle in the first 5 minutes of the game. And we lost the game in the first 5 minutes of the second half. What do I mean by that? It's not a coincidence that we have been spending our first halves going, damn, another guy's going to have a career night. Another guy's going to have a career night. Another guy's going to have a career night. Our closeouts have gotten incredibly sloppy. Everybody thinks they're going to play based on offense, but they're not. Okay, you know how we used to close out and make that sound with our feet and just really like run up to somebody, break it down. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to close out and be in guarding position. But you got to like run out there full speed and break down. It's tough. But here's the thing. We're closing out and just putting our hand kind of up in. And so everybody's getting the ball and they're getting good looks. I mean, yeah, the guy's technically closing out, but there's a difference between closing out with desperation, like Coach Mack has us doing when we're playing good, and listen, we make a couple stops at the beginning of the game. The other team is getting easy looks. Listen, some of these other teams, you can see they're a little rattled in the beginning. But if you give them 5-6 good, clean looks at the beginning of the game, and they start to go in, then they get comfortable. We're letting our lack of okay, put it this way. When we're not scoring or just scoring the same as them, what happens is they get confident. All these other teams, we watch the confidence grow in the other teams. Listen, DePaul, they were shook up at the beginning. We watched them get confidence over the court. The stud usually is confident, but the rest of the team starts getting confident because we don't challenge shots, so everybody just shoots a nice in rhythm shot, and they get comfortable. Before you know it, they're like, yeah, and we've seen it with our own two eyes. We don't start off playing desperate level defense. We only play desperate when we're down 10. And coach, if you don't see that in the beginning, that's where teams are getting comfortable. That's where teams are getting comfortable. We can all see it. Start Sid, put Malik at the 4. I think they can play together. So he's not a threat to him at all. So throwing the board, said that the players have stayed. They got to. I don't agree with that either. Because listen, that used to be a thing back in the day about getting too big and throwing your shot off. But nowadays, you got managers rebounding all day long. You got shooting machines. You lift weights, you go shoot. You shoot before your weights, you shoot after your weights. With these machines, you can shoot the weights off of you. That's not a problem. That's an old school problem. No, that's not true. That's not true. Yes, the intensity level at the start. Yeah, because some of these teams, you should be on their ass early in the game. But again, no inside threat. Nobody takes it to the basket, really. DeAndre Davis doesn't start anymore. He's one of the guys that takes it to the basket. Sam shoots floaters. Sam shoots fadeaway jump shots. Sam shoots all mid-range. Malik shoots all mid-range and three-pointers. Jared West does not finish at the basket. Again, LL is the only guy that gets to the basket out of that whole starting lineup. Period. Yeah, that's what Steve was telling me about. No, it's not overall optimism, but it's like, I mean, this is basketball. No, Ronnie, I don't agree. I don't agree. He's not soft like that. I think Max tapped out. Not sure expected. No, that's projected on him. This hour's tweet. back to Gronk. If Gronk showed up, I'm ready to go. I would attend to. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Talking. Who won the Mel game? Said Mel blew him out. Here Coach Mack put the suit back on. That's a good point too. Maybe you need to put the suit back on. Because like I said, I won't overly complain, but I will say, hey, you are a proponent of body language. You practice what you preach as far as body language. Or just say, I don't care what the fans think. I don't think that's important. It is, but I think you should think that it is too. I hope those doesn't get kicked out of the game. Truthfully, I'm a fan until there's pressure on. I thought he could turn it around. Got to check out the assist kid about it. 6'6" point guard. Steve said Glenn was hands down just the most developed guy out there. Since his suspension, still in his feelings. Lonnie, yeah, I swear, y'all run with some stuff, Lonnie. Don't put that on him. He is not quitting like that. He is not still. I mean, I'm sure he's still pissy, but he's not bringing that into the gym. Well, if he's been up for 75, 76 hours straight trying to figure this BS out, he's gonna need some strong coffee or cut him a line. This branch and Gaines stick around after Sat and Mack are fired. I would like to think so. You can change the substitution patterns without changing the lineup. And you're right. I am more optimistic because I don't think he doesn't know basketball. Listen again. I've said it. I didn't think Ja Morant, the way he plays, I didn't think his body would hold up. He's playing better. I still don't think I'm necessarily wrong, but I have blind spots. Athletic two guards like myself, I know the challenges. So sometimes you got blind spots. I think Coach Mack, he has a blind spot, playing through injuries, kind of chip on his shoulder player. I think that injury blind spot is affecting his decisions with Malik. That means, listen, Rick Pitino has his blind spots. Again, little Pitino had to tell Rick, Dad, your scout report, your game plan sucks today. But it takes somebody to say that, or we would have one less banner. Insert joke there. If Richard doesn't tell him that. So every coach has blind spots. For sure. Are you doing the same? Are you doing the game again? You mean the game watch? I don't know. He better have a short leash with Malik like he did with Ellis. I would like to think so. I watched you losing Jalen back, and he was still putting up double doubles with his knees coming off. That's a good point. Touche. These now for good enough for the play. 4 out, 1 in. Yeah. Like I said, but I don't know. Yeah, I just think he's locked in with some things. No one on this team should get over 25, 27 minutes game. I don't think so either. Or listen, hold. I don't think so. I hate it. Got to put Jalen in the first. No, they all know I would give them all opportunities. I can give Jalen Withers opportunities too, but you just got to pull them. You got to pull them. You got to pull them. You got to pull these guys, coach. Let them get lost in the game. This is not the guys that can get lost in the game because that's why they don't keep focus, extended focus. Because there are no repercussions for screw-ups. Sidney and Rocha split minutes. Yeah, listen, and I saw him split minutes with Stephen E. Think about this. Stephen Enoch split minutes almost down the middle with Malik. When Malik was healthy. Think about that. When Malik was at his healthiest, he still split minutes with Stephen Enoch. Fair enough. Coach Mack is going to change philosophy, so unfortunately, Listen, we usually beat up on Pittsburgh. We need another Siva Russ back duo. Listen, he needs to turn Jared West into a pit bull. Jared West brings something to the table on that defensive end. On the offensive end, we don't have to have a ball in. Listen, Mason can run pick and rolls. Ellis can run pick and rolls. We don't need to initiate everything through Jared West. Curry Cross Lock, Dre Faulkner. I mean, listen, he's up against it. I'll be glad when men's basketball team plays 4 quarters like the NBA. So you can see better who comes out the game. Yeah, I mean, it just shows to me naturally. Wouldn't mind seeing Trinity. Yeah, I would too. I would too, man. That's what I'm saying. Everybody, you got to give everybody game chances. Like some dudes are practice players because they practice better in comfortable surroundings. Some dudes just don't buck up, you know what I'm saying, against certain kind of opponents. They don't play against athletic teams well. He has to knock some threes down. This is a fact. But again, he's letting it go and he's floating back, and they're not getting, like, these guys are shooting without a lot of balance, and there's a fine line between fucking with them about their balance and leaving them alone. So I do understand that. A lot needs to be sharp. He has to get fouled too. Whatever happened to the young guy who came in with Damian Lee? He's still playing. He's still playing. He's overseas now, I'm pretty sure. Talking about Lewis. At Terry, every single year we said the same thing. Duke is going to kill us. We play them better than anybody on our schedule every year, except last year in the ACC tournament. You realize we beat them twice last year. You realize Mack is the only coach in Power 5 that has a winning record against K. And Louisville's like the only school tied with Duke in the win-loss. Right? I don't know if Mack is in his feelings, but he's definitely distracted. It shows the team is not prepared. No, they come out prepared. I think the substitution pattern is a blind spot. But they would all have a different energy under him. Jake Wright, like what? Rumblings isn't double down. Isn't doing much. John Morant and his team maybe. Yes. Everybody in Tennessee is telling me the same thing. James G, my kids you got to soldier up, James. Look, you soldier up. You hang out with us all night, and then get up and take the kids to basketball tomorrow. But thank you so much, James G, and cheers, good sir. Hold on, Greg, we never give it back on the roll because we don't roll. We pick and pop all the time. Because Malik he doesn't go to the basket like that. He just doesn't. He doesn't. He might do it once or twice a game, but he's not a consistent threat, and it doesn't make the defense work. We don't make the defense work. What good is the space when we don't attack the basket, coach? Your starting 5 does not attack. They don't attack the basket. 1 or 2 plays. They don't feed the post. They don't trust their passing into the post. I mean, I know coach is bad about, or he harps on turnovers. We still got to be able to pump, fake, and throw a bounce pass. We got to be able to get the ball in the post. You listen, Malik has been here long enough to know, Malik, go down there under the basket, reverse pivot, and seal under the basket. Why the hell is Malik still posting up 15, 16 feet from the basket, y'all? Why is he shooting 15, 16 footers? And he's not wet like that, and he don't use the glass. That's just a bad shot. That's a bad shot in Power 5 basketball. I mean, this is not 1989 Patrick Ewing. 91 Patrick Ewing. That's a bad shot. A standing still mid-range 17-footer where you don't even use the glass? That's just a bad shot. Over and over and over again. No low post position, bad 17-footer, no rolling to the basket with aggression. God, we're all watching this. Coach, you have guys that bring other stuff to the table. You can't just say the things that Malik brings to the table on defense are the only things we need. We need the other stuff. We need the speed, the athleticism, the energy level, the aggression, the things that Malik does not bring to the table. The inspiration, you need that. Y'all see the way the bench acts when these other guys get in the game? Greg. Marquez. Greg. My parents always said, make sure to get your name right. But I feel you. It's a sin. I'm 4 or 5. I don't see a bunch of people beating him. But again, you can be out there and not foul. Y'all can be out there and not foul. You can run your system and not foul. You can rotate them in with high energy, coach. Taking somebody out doesn't mean you can't put them right back in. Somebody else is going to make a mistake. Yes. I agree. Jesus Christ, Rue. Don't do that. And when he split the minutes with Stephen Malik a few years back, they would have both had good stat lines at the end of the game. Yeah, we had good numbers. Yes, Gabe can play. Gabe can play basketball. How many takes? There won't be any takes. Why won't they dunk to them? They're going to start now. They saw the way the fans reacted on social media and Instagram. DeAndre Davis, the only one. DeAndre Davis got the ball in the post, turned around, and went vertical to dunk it. He's 6'5". He's 6'4", 6'5". I'll be silent, Coach. I feel you. So what changes Louisville? Nobody's getting to the basket, so they're not getting a look from the side is different from getting a look from a guy who penetrates and kicks. Is watching Kentucky. I think with the loss, right? Love playing Duke. I don't go to any game. I think we're gonna beat this team. And like I said, when is your okay? It's. I don't want to take away credit for any big wins, and I mean big wins by winning by a lot of points. But it's easier to get geeked up for the Dukes, the Michigans, the Michigan States, it's name brand schools. It's easy to get geeked up for those schools. But we need some impressive wins against teams we should beat impressively. You know what I'm saying? With our talent and our depth. Yeah, that's pretty funny, Enzo. That is a good point. I would if I was him. Malik's supposed to play the 5. Is this why he's always on 3 ball? Right. Again, that's why I told y'all last year, I told y'all, it's not about position. If you're 6'7", you should be able to score around the basket. A 6'7" player at Louisville, 6'7" and up, should be able to score a bucket under the basket. Sam should not be getting pushed into floaters all the time. Sam should be getting a lot lower and exploding around that basket. He, Malik, Jalen, all that. But Enoch was threes and Enoch was right around the basket. Enoch wasn't shooting 15-footers, but I agree with you. He let Malik get away with these 17-footers all the time, posting up that far. I mean, like, what big man gets to dribbles the ball 6 times? Malik has terrible handles. And it's like he lets them post up 17 feet and he starts backing in and he's not getting any movement. He doesn't have any good base under him. We're just waiting on him to fall. When he's 17 feet from the basket and he starts dribbling back and down, everybody knows what's about to happen. Everybody knows it. He's not playing the 4. He's not playing the 3. He's just shooting. Yeah, like how many times he falls? Okay. Roosevelt, Wheeler, Gabe, they'll have to step up as well. Terry Malik doesn't like contact. Yeah, not at all. Not at all. How about gathering of coaches? Move once. Once the timeout goes into effect, that's a fact. Where's Rose and Gabe? I've been saying it. All good. I just gotta say it. I mean, I don't think those referees will do that this time. Offensive guru. Again, offensive guru is for the offense and skill development of people who already have fundamentals. I think that's a blind spot. I think the fundamentals were the blind spot for Ross, Coach McVay's. Fair enough. Big Rick said we don't have talent. Are you saying he's wrong? No, we got plenty of talent. What do you mean? I've been saying we got talent. Bro, Rose is a top 10 center, top 12 center in the country. He just got an injury. Sidney Curry was going to Kansas. Malik Williams he's made first, second, third teams and all defense. Jared West is an elite defender. L. Ellis, the #1 junior college point guard in America. Sam's a five-star McDonald's All-American. That's talent. Yes, he's wrong. What do you mean? Yeah, but Terry, he can't just afford to just see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can't just. I mean, I agree with you. JJ should be in the game, but also you can't just play people like, well, let's just hope. You know what I'm saying? But we've seen guys good enough in game performance to be out there regularly. If you I would never try to pull a rebound away from him. Yeah. Dame Dancer, that's my guy. Okay, put it this way. I know he's passionate about it. Listen, y'all, it ain't about the money. This is fucking with him. This is hurting him. This is hurting him. I mean, again, I'll say his body language is bad, but I won't say he's defeated or anything like that. I think he's trying to, he's looking for the solutions, but trying to stick to his principles a little bit too. Again, I wouldn't mind trapping up top sometimes. Yeah, but again, we have a talented front court. We have a deep and talented front court. Go back and look at where Gabe played in high school, y'all. Gabe is supposed to be a freshman this year. Gabe reclassed. Gabe reclassed. He didn't have a good showing against Southeast Louisiana. Was it Southeast or Southern Louisiana? I think it was Southeast. But yeah, I agree. But listen, he wears that Jo impression too. The way he jogs and the way he has a casual look to his face. Jo did it too. So people always say Jason Osborne wasn't playing hard the same way. So I don't put that he doesn't care just because of the way he looks. Right. I pressure. You can pressure guys. We have the depth to pressure. We need him to play those surprise players though. Yeah, they damn sure want some get back. Yeah, for sure. Lawrence, what's good, my man?
What the hell, coach?
What's going on? You don't like the lineup?
We trying to put pressure. If you want, like you said, we need inside game. We need guys who gonna go to the rim and draw fouls. And you saw what this lineup did the last game. You saw when you had guys come in there in the last game. You saw what Curry, Faulkner, and Ellis did when they got the chance to go in there. And I understand what you're saying. Starting don't matter, but come on, man. This team this year have been having most trouble on offense because we got a center who playing timid.
I do agree with that. He does play timid.
We got a guard who just dribbles, and when he finally does shoot the ball, it's like a deep 3-point shot. He don't make. And if he does drive to the back, he gets shot blocked one time, he don't go back.
So Lawrence, give me a solution.
I say go ahead and start Curry at center, Cross at power forward, Davis at small forward, Faulkner at point, Ellis at shooting guard. Put the pressure on them first on offense. If we up by like 9 or 10, then put those other guys in the game. And tell West, when you put him in the game, guard that guy the whole court, the whole 90 feet on the court.
You wouldn't start Ellis?
I would start Ellis.
I'm sorry, West. I meant West. Sorry.
I would have West come off the bench. Think about it. If we up by 9-10, and his main job is going to be guard that play lockdown defense, manage the offense to the other guys come back in. Like think about it. He's gonna be coming off that bench. He's gonna be ready to play. Cause think about it. That's what you kept on saying. The great motivator is that bench, right?
Yeah.
Coming off that bench, those guys gonna come off the bench trying to prove something. Talking about we better than y'all. Why y'all think deserve to start over us? Those guys gonna be more motivated coming off that bench trying to prove to guys who started that we're way better than y'all.
Right.
And
listen, any shout outs?
You know something. I was gonna go on live today, talking about the whole Kenny Payne situation.
Mm-hmm.
And because it will be a long conversation. Like I may do it tomorrow before the game. If anybody want, I'm gonna put my my YouTube channel in the link.
Yeah.
I'm gonna explain to you, even if Louisville does get Kenny Payne, they not is he gonna he may not recruit the same way he would do at Kentucky, because one, we're still Adidas. Two, that was Nike, and three, Nike going to find some type of way to sabotage his recruiting, because that's what they do.
Listen, when you put your video together, make sure you share it with everybody. I'll share it too. Tag me, I'll share it.
Now I'm gonna go live tomorrow before the game.
Well, let me know about that too.
I'm put my chat. I'm put the link to my chat room after this. I want everybody coming there because it's gonna be lit. Let Steve know, let Pat know, let everybody know. I'm gonna explain to y'all. It's gonna probably be around like 12 p.m. 12 p.m. too.
What time do we play?
4 o'clock.
Ooh, 4 o'clock. I figure. All right. Any other shots? What's your channel?
Lou the Writer Sports.
All right, Lawrence, get on out of here, man.
All right, Morgan.
Later. Look, Coach. Look, that would be interesting. Coach changed that lineup. We put some offensive firepower in there. I know that energy will be different. I don't blame Ross, like you said, he didn't expect when he got teach things we expect different types of players. Yeah. He's pretty versatile. I don't think Dre could run the point. Absolutely not. Love seeing J.O. with the backwards dunk. Right. But he had a nonchalant run. Whenever he wasn't killing, everybody said he wasn't playing hard and he didn't care. Terry, you don't agree? You're not going with the offensive lineup? Who starts the game, but it matters who comes out and starts the second half. But yeah, the rotations would always matters to me. You are watching the game, Terry. Don't say that. You are going to be watching the game, unless you're working or something. One difference between the good leaders and the great leaders' ability to solve. Right. Listen, I'm not saying that Jared West and Malik are not good leaders. I'm not saying they're not good leaders, but don't just make leadership and effectiveness. Don't mix them. Some of these guys are more effective. One difference between there's a problem with solution and they force you to reevaluate manual strategy. That's a fact with the coaching. Same as always on every radio show. Nothing. I missed the first part of the show. Was Larry Benz and unfortunately already discussed? No, Roger, I did not discuss them because I want some behind the scenes details before I discuss it all the way. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to discuss that. Lou the Writer Sports, LOU the Writer Sports, Lou the Writer Sports. But y'all always need. Wait, hold on. What do you figure the director of player development means in real life? Random thought, mentor role more than anything. Listen. He's gonna be on campus. We're gonna find out the details. All that stuff. Yeah, Roger. I don't want to do that without knowing more. Share. This is my favorite part of the night, y'all.
Motivational speech. You can talk about all the motivational speeches and phrases and devices in the world, but the greatest motivator of all is your ass on the bench. There is no better motivator. Ass meets bench. Bench retains ass. Ass transmits signal to brain. Brain transmits signal to body. Body gets ass off bench and plays better. I mean, it's a hell of a sequence of things that takes place. But the greatest motivator of all is your ass on the bench. There is no better motivator. Ass meets bench. Bench retains ass.
Period, coach.
Ass transmits signal to brain. Brain transmits signal to body. Body gets ass off bench and plays better. I mean, it's a hell of a sequence of things that takes place. Well, it might be for you guys. You can talk about all the motivational speeches and phrases and devices in the world, but the greatest motivator of all is your ass on the bench. There is no better motivator. Ass meets bench. Bench retains ass. Ass transmits signal to brain. Brain transmits signal to body. Body gets ass off bench and plays better.
Coach, we all see the look on Malik's face when he makes a mistake. I know you don't want people to be looking over their shoulder, but they do. They do. But here's the problem. Malik and Jalen have been playing the worst. They don't look over to the bench. Jared West doesn't look over at the bench. They've been playing the worst basketball. The guys that are getting pulled and put back in, they're playing the most intense basketball. And when they're not, it's their fault. Just like it's Malik's fault when he's not playing good. When he's letting a guard push him out to 17 feet, coach, that's not acceptable. I mean, I'm not even a stat geek, but go look at the minutes that Malik's playing and what he's averaging, and how hard it is to play with him on the floor. Just how slow he is. How ineffective he is around the basket. Yeah, coaches are still the star of the show in college. IU got drilled at Illinois and night bench all 5 starters. They got the message. Coach Crum did it all the time. Y'all, listen, I'm not going down with y'all. Get the whole second string in here right now. Y'all done for the half. We'll get blown out. Rick did it. I don't care if we get blown out. Y'all ain't playing. If we was in that close game with Furman, Rick Pitino, Denny Crum, Bobby Knight, John Calipari, every great coach would have benched that whole lineup. We got enough talent to beat Furman on the bench. You think Rose, Sid, Gabe, Mason, Matt, whoever was coming off the bench, you think we have 7 more guys that can beat Furman if you bench them? Well, not all 5 starters play like crap, but whatever top 3 or 4 starters play like crap. We got enough guys. If they're playing as hard as they can play, like they should be playing, we beat those teams. Coach, we are pulling for you, Coach. We're pulling for you. Most of us are. We're rooting for you. But we're not rooting for you leaving ineffective players in the game. And you're nitpicking. You're nitpicking at L. Ellis. We can see you nitpicking at JJ, at Rowe. You're nitpicking what they're doing. But you're not holding Malik, Jalen, Jared, and Noah accountable the same way. Now again, Noah played better than I gave him credit for. So I will say that. But just overall, you're nitpicking at these guys, and you're letting, like I said, Malik could be playing perfect in practice. Jared West could be playing perfect in practice. But there's still a difference between the practice and the game because the opponents are different. You know your opponents in practice. Opponents you don't know, you do an hour scout. You do a 15, 20-minute scout. You go over their stuff a couple times in practice. Then you're on to a totally different opponent. When you see the same guys in practice every day, of course, Malik is consistent in practice because he goes against Jalen for a year. He goes against Gabe for a year. Malik knows how to beat them. Of course, he knows how to beat them. Of course, Jared West knows how to go against a freshman L. Ellis and a grad transfer Mason. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he knows how to go against those guys. No, again, Walter, don't do broad brush. Don't do broad brush. Just say there are some things that he has to fix. We say that about every coach. Every coach has blind spots. Malik is a blind spot. You know, these are not indictments that they can't coach. It's just like every coach has them, but yours, like the ones that Coach Mack has, are costing big picture games. That doesn't mean he's not ready for the big stage. He's won some hellified big stage games. Let's just don't. That's why I'm saying I'm careful about not doing broad brush because he's beat some fucking coaches. He's beat some big time teams. He has. Oh no, that was the worst. Do I still have that? Do I still have that clip? Listen, I will say this. Sometimes that broad brush, I feel you. Sometimes to paint Coach Mack with a broad brush, I know where you're coming from. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying he's, a Hall of Famer, Walter. I'm not saying you're not making a good case with things. You know what I'm saying? But I don't do just the total broad brush thing. It's not all, because Mac is not good at something here or something there. It's probably going to echo a little bit, y'all. It's probably going to echo a little bit. Oh, okay,
this
y'all.
This is the possession that broke my heart.
Listen, please don't donate. Don't super chat or super sticker to the YouTube channel. If you want to donate anything to support the channel, go to Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal. Do it over there because I'm going to play this video and I'm not going to be able to be monetized after this video. This is what I'm sacrificing for y'all. I'm sacrificing my channel monetization. Which means if somebody watches it tomorrow, it won't have any monetization to it because I'm playing this video tonight and I don't care. I want y'all to see it again.
This is the possession that broke my heart. We get a defensive stop. Watch our offensive transition. Let's go. Okay, good challenge. We get that.
But
transition.
Listen, y'all. I kind of made a mistake. Okay. Even on this video, I say good challenge. This really wasn't a good challenge. It wasn't that real hard closeout that we was doing early in the year. I said good challenge because you were in range. But if you let a guy shoot this shot over and over again, he's going to get comfortable. So this was a good look. Nobody misses that shot over and over again with a good look. He got in balance. He shot a good look. I mean, we did a good job of kind of boxing out and closing the space, but you can do it with a lot more urgency.
Let's go.
We shouldn't have gave up a look like this, though. But this is us going zone.
Okay, good challenge. We
That's
get that.
Challenge.
Okay, you have a guy in the middle. 3-on-2. Perfect fast break scenario. 3-on-2. If Dre passes this to L. Ellis, it has to be an alley-oop for Sydney Curry. You drill this over and over and over and over again. Or L. Ellis is the first one to the basket and Sidney Curry gets a bounce pass. Either way, this has to be an alley-oop. Look at this. Look at this position. This is Sidney Curry, alley-oop. Sidney, you should be pointing up. L. Ellis, this should be an alley-oop. This has to be an alley-oop at the University of
wide open.
Look at oh God. Look at that situation, y'all. And there's not a better alley-oop situation ever seen in a Louisville jersey. And they got the black University of Louisville jerseys on. Oh God. Oh God.
That was a bad possession, y'all. That possession was bad. I kind of do, man. Like, yeah, it's still your team. Suspension or not. No one on the bench is even doing the point. That was a straight. Anybody, not Trez. Yeah, the noob Delaney had it was unreal. You don't need a high school team. A high school team with Caleb Glenn. That's an alley-oop. Everybody should have saw that. We do not run enough. We do not run enough comfortable transition for that not to be an alley-oop. That's my only solution for that not being an alley-oop. I mean, that was bad. That was bad. Everybody should be wanting that alley-oop. Sidney should be wanting it. L. Ellis should be wanting to get his big man alley-oop right there. DeAndre should have passed it and been pointing over there. He's not a good ball handler. We don't have a lot of good ball handling at full speed. He had what's equivalent. I-65, your only car in all 5 lanes. I know. Yeah, that's what I think. They don't do enough 3-on-2, 2-on-1. 3-on-2, 2-on-1. 3-on-2, you go down, the point guard's in the middle. He stops at the free throw line. He either passes it to the left or to the right. The first defender has to stop the ball. The first pass, the second defender goes to the first pass. It's either should be a pass alley-oop, a pass bounce pass, or if he bluffs, you look him off and that guy dunks. This 3-on-2 got to be a dunk. But here's the thing. This is how you do 3-on-2, 2-on-1. The guy who shoots it and the guy who sorry. 2-on-1 is going backwards. 3-on-2, 2-on-1. The two defenders come back against the guy who shoots it. So if you pass it to this guy and he shoots a bank shot or he lays it up, you don't even have to take it out of bounds. You start running back, and the two guys that were on defense, now those two is 2-on-1, where you bluff, you try to make them make a bad pass, and if you can make them shoot a jump shot, the one guy on the defense, if you make them shoot a jump shot, you win. You win the drill. So when you break it up in between, like a red and a white team, whatever, 3-on-2, if they make you shoot a jump shot, that's a point for the defense. If he hits the jump shot, then that's a point. But if he makes you shoot a jump shot and you miss, that's a point for the defense. Going back to 2-on-1, if you make him shoot a jump shot, you already screaming like, yeah, yeah. Forcing a jump shot is the goal. If you get a turnover and like L. Ellis, like he turned that ball over, that's like 3 points for the defense. A 3-on-2 and you get a turnover out of that, that's a big time score for the defense. Our basketball fundamentals were bad last year as well. But Carlik Jones hid a lot of that, I think. I did see that. You go back to fundamentals. I'm sure he taught it early, but he started probably going right to his defense. And think about it. New offense. You got to teach 8 new guys the defense. And you got to go back to fundamentals. I just think he overlooked the fundamentals. And when you have a lot of veterans, you don't really concentrate on fundamentals like that. That was L. Ellis. DeAndre Davis was running the point. He passed it up to Ellis. Ellis got to be looking at Sidney. But Sidney, even the way Sidney was kind of like jogging, like he didn't know what to do. Sidney's supposed to put his head down and just be running as hard as he can. It probably wasn't as bad last year. Carlik was clutch. Fact, yeah, he can play. And he was a good on-the-court basketball leader because he could also get it done. His passing, he's a good passer, really good passer. A lot of no-look passes. Carlik can just play. And Jared, listen, I'm not saying Jared West can't play, but he's effective going to the basket. Oh, late in the second half. Okay. I wasn't talking about that in particular. Okay. Yeah. I know that's a different thing. Hold on. All right, y'all. Look, I got 6 minutes left. If y'all want to jump in here, let me know. I already pinned the link in the top. I pinned the link. If y'all want to jump in here, do I have any midnight stories? Lauren, do I have any midnight stories with Marcus Maven? Do I have any midnight stories? Do I have any midnight stories? What would be a good midnight story if nobody wants to jump in? A good midnight story. No, that's not a good one. I want to give a story that's kind of edgy, but I ain't no snitch either. So I want to give a good midnight edgy story without being a snitch. What kind of edgy midnight story? Edgy midnight. Oh no, I can't tell that one. Damn it. Oh man, edgy midnight stories. What do we have as far as edgy midnight? Hold on, let me see. Hold on. You can ask me any questions, get them in. He would have ahead of time. If it was yeah, that's a debate in itself. It better be rotation. Oh, I can always do a midnight life lesson. Ooh. All board members got fired. 7 new players plus a 6-game suspension. Facts. Yeah. He was comfortable with the ball's end. I think I already told this story. With Coach Eves. Yeah, I think I told that one early. Okay. Y'all, okay, listen. You know what? I'm going longer than 6 minutes. Y'all sit here. What did Rummage tell you about Brown? I won't play any sound, y'all. Okay, listen. I won't play this video the whole time. So just listen to about 20 seconds of this beat, and I will be right back. Oh, come on. Midnight stories. Advertising. Are you asking me to tell a story about when I had to go in there and do that? Yeah, like I said, I'm not talking details. Rummage tell me about the prom conversation. He told me everything. Steve Rummage running for AD, not that I know of. Lauren, life lessons. Life lessons. Oh God, there's so many. There's so many good life lessons. A funny Steve story. Man, we went on the road together. I told y'all about Steve choking when he met Rick Pitino. I told y'all that story. Or we might have said that story just on the air. So people who listen to the show already know that story. Okay, between life lessons, a Steve Rummage story. What else I got? I agree with this too. Yeah, I love that. Come on. Y'all know about the car. What's a good one? I'm sorry, Lauren. Oh, Lauren, do you know what number we're on? Ooh, we had this story with Secretary trying to throw the tire in. We did the cleaning the car life lesson. You should not be cleaning the car. And I've thought about I've had some good ones. I've had some really good life lesson stories. We can do a relationship one. And I keep thinking of stories, but again, the parties that are involved, you always have to be careful. You cannot snitch on anybody. All of them involve crime. Coach's doghouse. Ooh, this is not a story, but this is just an anecdote. This is so fucking funny, y'all. I can't say this on radio because I don't want to get canceled, right? You know what used to make me laugh the most? Because listen, when I talk about Coach Mack having a blind spot, it's like I say it because every coach got blind spots. Coach Crum got his blind spot. Everybody got their blind spots, right? But this was Tony Williams, y'all. Tony Williams, funniest shit you'll ever hear in your life is when, okay, like imagine Coach being mad at Nate. And Nate's kind of wild, you know what I'm saying? Like he's passionate, right? So sometimes arguing with Nate ain't even worth it because he's already high strung, right? And then imagine somebody else getting in trouble after Nate been acted up a little bit or something, right? Hey y'all, Tony Williams, like because we would see some players are getting picked on different, right? Like, I think it was like Rashad Brooks or Reese Gaines, right? And, you know, Reese Gaines, a freshman coach, pick on newcomers. Crazy. He picks on newcomers. Tony Williams used to be like, bring me the whipping boy. So listen, when somebody was getting in trouble that probably shouldn't have been in the doghouse, like Hodge Turner or Travis Best, Tony Williams would be like, bring me the whipping boy. And it used to be so funny because it was true. It was like, come on, coach, you being hard on somebody else. Like you don't want to yell at Alex, but you and when Tony Williams would yell out, bring me the whipping boy, it was just the funniest thing y'all ever heard in a locker room. And again, why do you think that's so funny now? You know, like, yeah, you know, cancel culture, you can't make that joke on the radio. But in the practices, in the locker rooms, funniest thing y'all ever seen. Life lessons. Y'all heard about them breaking the plate on my head. Yeah, Chris Mack's blind spots costing us. Yeah, I agree. But like I said, blind spots cost everybody. But is it a big picture or not? Coach Crumb's doghouse. One time, before the games, we used to stay at the Executive West, right? We used to stay at the Executive West, right across from Freedom Hall. Especially like during this time where campus was closed. Actually, every night before the game, we always stayed at the hotel across from Freedom Hall. And listen, we always had the top floor. It was just all basketball players on the top floor. We would have film on that floor, all that good stuff. So what you would do is, if you have a girl or something, what you would do is say, we got film at 6:30. And you would tell a girl that at about 6:40, you need to take the side step, go in the room while we're in film. And that was the way you snuck girls in. Now, if you didn't get it, if you ain't sneak a girl in, you probably had to wait. Like bed check is probably at 11 o'clock or something, right? And what they did, bed check didn't really have a exact time, but it would be, let's say, they would wait about 40 minutes after the last person goes in their room. Because, let's say 10 o'clock, y'all out in the hallways, y'all going between each other's room, 10:30, it's starting to kind of thin out. Everybody's going to their room, shutting it down. But you would tell your teammates, man, go in the room so we can get the clock started. Because like I said, the security would only stay there. Like I said, if there ain't been nobody in the hallway for about 45 minutes to an hour, they would assume everybody was in for the night. So the trick was trying to open the door and look without actually opening the door enough to where they would see you open the door. Because if they saw you open the door, the clock would start back over. But sometimes you would just open the door and go out all the way and act like you're going down the hallway and get some ice. But what you would do is you would make sure you take off your shirt, take off your if you got any big shorts on, just have your basketball shorts and flip-flops. Because if you went out in the hallway with some clothes on, they knew you was plotting to right? Knew probably all of them. So what you would do is, like I said, the worst thing to do was to reset the security guard's clock. Because once that clock reset, y'all gonna be in here another hour, you know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. So the technique of getting out of there was stay in your room for 40 minutes. Don't open the door, don't get caught. But if you did have to open the door to see, you got all the way undressed and you just and you just like, oh, I'm just thirsty. I'm just going to get some ice. Look, go get your cup of ice, nod to the security. You might be wide awake, but that's how it goes. So, I mean, everybody kind of knew that. And it wasn't like you were just like a couple of times people snuck out, like, we're going out. Like, but most of the time, you were just sneaking out to go back to your apartments, you know what I'm saying? Because by the time you're a sophomore, you don't have to live on campus. Everybody got their own apartments. I mean, even if you're sitting at home, like eating your own food, doing whatever you do, you just don't want to sit at that hotel all night. So like I said, and if you got a girlfriend, they want to either go out or, I mean, it's dudes, y'all young, you got young girlfriends. So it's like, if you don't sneak out, it's a party going on campus. The game's Saturday, 5, 6 o'clock. there's a Friday night party going on campus. If you don't get out of, and I say campus, maybe not campus, you probably don't go to campus parties, but if you don't get out of this hotel tonight and get to that party, the football players who are out of season or in bowl season, they ain't gonna have access to your girl all night long. You don't know, God knows what can happen when y'all locked in this hotel room and everybody at the school is out somewhere partying at the same spot. Come on, coach. You don't expect us to sit here all night. I mean, look, and again, I'm just making examples of all the little problems that go on, you know what I'm saying, just night to night. So anyway, again, if you got a good relationship with your girl, she knows at 6:30, go in the room. Go in the room. If you're lucky enough to have your own room and your roommate somewhere, you know, go in the room. So that, you know, these are, I'm just painting all the little angles and elements. So the time I got in the doghouse, it's like, I've been doing this my whole career, basically. But one night, I was peeking hard. Secure, and I always got the door. I always got the room by the stairs, so that, you know what I'm saying. So I was the closest person to the stairway. We can come out with the dub. Greg, fact. Wasn't no duct tape on the door. No, we didn't have that. So anyway, I would usually be by the stairs so I could really get out there. What happened is when I peeked out the door, they was gone. So you go down the stairs. You do the little exit door. You look. You make sure ain't no cars running. You make sure ain't no people. But here's what's funny, y'all. When multiple people sneak out at the same time, the problem is you would have like 5 girls sitting in their individual cars with the car running, right? So imagine when security comes to leave the building and they get to the parking lot and you got a girl over there sitting in the car with her car running. And when it's cold, you can see the condensation, or you can see the exhaust going up. So they come and look. So security is like, damn, it's 5, 6 cars out here with that's just out in the parking lot running. So now you got to tell your girl, if you coming to pick me up, turn off the car, turn off the lights, turn off the car, keep your foot off the brakes. When you get in the car, you got to make sure they don't cut the lights on until you leave. So all these elements is going on. One time I looked, went down, was leaving. I ain't see nothing. The coast was clear. I jumped in my own car because I drove over there. I drove back to my apartment. I don't think I had company that night. I think I just went in there and went to sleep, right? But the next day, the security came up to me and he said, "I'm glad you went home last night." And when he said that, I was like, what you mean I'm glad? Like, I'm glad you went home last night. And the way he asked me that, I was like, I didn't know what he meant or what he was getting at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know if he's like, I'm glad you went home, like you're going to get in trouble. I'm glad you went home instead of going out. So anyway, point being, security followed me to the crib after I left. Then the next day, they told the coach, of course. I had to talk to the coach about it. Coach was like, it was kind of like one of those, I hope it was worth it conversations. But I mean, he didn't mention that I just went home and went to bed. I'm pretty sure I told him I just went home and went to bed, but I didn't, And you got to remember too, y'all, you still got to, if it's not a Saturday night, you still got to go to class. So sometimes you're like, if you live right near campus, you don't even want to go to the hotel because you live near your class and you just want to wake up and go to your class. But Put a shirt over the dome light. I really enjoy the college athlete psychology lessons. I can't really get that perspective anywhere else. So, listen, I enjoy being, like I said, I always tell people my advantage and my disadvantage was that I really just liked playing basketball. Like I wanted to make it to the league to prove how good I was. I wasn't trying to make it to the league to get money. I just wanted to prove I'm the best, I'm the best out here. I'm the best, I'm good enough to make it, to the pros. Like that's what I played for. So my eyes, I was always just watching everybody and having fun. I was having fun watching all my teammates and watching everybody just do crazy stuff. So yeah, like that was my disadvantage was I wasn't desperate to make it to the league. I was just wanting to prove that. But here's the thing. I'm not going back. The reason you can't put tape on the door is because I'm not coming back to the hotel until after class. You know what I'm saying? So you can't leave your door open. So yeah, you could never do that. You would just have to lock it up. So yeah, the security followed me home. I went to bed, but after I talked to the coach was basically like, well, you got Breakfast Club, right? It's like, yep, 5 a.m. I'm in there running. Listen, I'm in there running suicides. I'm in there running 15s, 17s, whatever you call it. I'm just running. But you know what I did learn that morning? Something I never thought of. I think the coach was more mad that he had to be there and running me than that. Like, I didn't think he wanted to be there. And I did notice that. So I felt more bad, not about getting caught and leaving and stuff. Because I know I wasn't going out and doing nothing, but I felt bad that he had to wait. Because listen, Coach Crum was not going to get up at 5 a.m. and make me run laps. Like that's not his job. He's a head coach. But the coach who had to make me run, I felt as I was running, I ran harder for him because I felt terrible because I knew he didn't want to be here disciplining me because I left the hotel. So yeah, that's how a night went. That's how a regular night went. And before you do film sessions, I would stop. Not Wings and Things. I forgot that wing place. So during the film session, you would have food. You have burgers, chicken tenders, some good stuff. Do film session. After film session ended, especially if you had company in the room or something, I would usually stay in the film room and watch it again. Like usually me, Cameron, Murray, guards like me, Cameron, Reese. 1 year, 2 years it was Cam, 2 years it was Reese, Rashad. We would stay and watch the film session again, or we would watch the other guards again. Just to get a good look at them. But yeah, you would spend some extra time in the film session, especially if you knew. But sometimes there was a small window right after film session, right before the security probably, if film session ends at 8:30, the security don't come till 9. So sometimes there was a window, but it's pretty bold to try to sneak out during that window. But yeah, that was always funny. Yeah, okay, good night. That was basketball perspective stories number 1. But maybe I will have a 109 tomorrow night. Let's get this win, y'all. I probably will do a second half game watch for Pittsburgh. I'm not positive about that. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you like the channel, thank you for supporting it. any way you know how. Like I said, the Cash App down there, the PayPal, to give them all that stuff down there. Thank you for enjoying the nights. We'll be having fun. I'm going to watch the Pittsburgh replay. That's tonight. I'm watching the Pittsburgh replay. I'm gonna watch Malik get teched up. I'm gonna watch Coach Mack. I'm gonna watch Coach Mack get his technical fouls. Yeah, we'll all be watching. We will all certainly be watching.